There's a man that lives inside our walls, built on my shop bins by normal means, made out of wood and molded plastic, sponges for muscle
Okay,
in
so
day
as we're looking at
miles.
instruments, and this is one that I have, or I designed essentially, and that's part of the reason I'm like going through all this stuff with you is not only is designing an area you can get into as an artist, it pays the bills, but you get to draw stuff and it becomes real. And a lot of times when we draw stuff, it is what it is. It's a painting, it's a drawing. Um, I had this dream forever of owning a double neck bass that was both fretted and fretless. And I sketched it up years ago. Every couple of years, I'd do another drawing of it. So when I got my master's degree, I said, you know what? I get through this stupid series of extra college. I'll break down and I'll get it. So what I did, I had two of my favorite basses. I took all the parts out of my two favorite basses and I went to a guy who builds guitars and I said, "Can you put these in this kind of very simplistic body with neat wood?" And what I didn't realize at the time is I really was doing a deco design for this double neck bass. Now, did it play well? Yeah, it played pretty good. Was it comfortable? No. It was 23 pounds. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a lot because you guys, oh, I curl 25 pounds every day. Okay, you run around a stage with 23 pounds around your neck and back. I could do it in my 30s for about a set. I could do it for 40, 50 minute set in my 30s. Come my 40s, I would do it for like half a set. The beginning of my 50s, um, a song or two. And then I was like, this is just stupid. This thing is way too heavy. So I ended up stripping all the parts out of it and having this thing built. What I didn't realize at the time is I actually had moved from an Art Deco design, being very geometric, straight line, to an Art Nouveau design, being very fluid, very graceful, very much like plant or a plant. So when you're doing your design, you're doing your Art Nouveau, keep it flowing, keep it looking organic. Could this thing be more Nouveau? Yeah, you could put leaves on it, carved leaves, or you could do things within the fretboard to put an image or borders. If you wanted to do a border design in there, that would be a typical um, Art Nouveau border, but use them as fret markers. That would be great. All right. Simpler ways you can modify instruments. And this one would be a little more nouveau in shape. That's just the nature of that instrument. Came out in 1950s. Um, you can actually get clear pick guards. Take whatever drawing you've made or printed at your local printer, put that cut it out with a razor blade, put it on your pickups, you're all good to go. I've done this to many of my guitars. That's a quick fix. The much longer fix is to take and actually seal it into the guitar. It took me 5 attempts to get this to work on this instrument. So yeah, that's behind the lacquer. Uh, I stripped and sanded this thing 5 times to get that to work, and I really should just gotten smarter and made a clear pick guard for it. All right, so that's about it with my. Well, I've done a lot of other finishing and sanding and goofy things to guitars, um, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through how to lay out the parts of a guitar with you today, especially since it doesn't appear that I have any 5/6s in class. So if you want to follow me along, grab a piece of paper. I will see if my Elmo's working. All right, let's see if I can find some paper here. Okay, so a guitar or bass neck. You gotta probably use a straight edge. So if you have a book or a cell phone that doesn't have a weird case, um, I would draw the two edges of the instrument, of the neck, because the neck can't really change shape. If you change the shape of the neck, people aren't going to know how to play it. All right. So I'm going to do a bass just because bass has four strings instead of a guitar. And what I'll do is I will take and I will figure out mathematically where I've got a neck that is 4.5 inches. So the halfway spot between the 12th fret would be about at the 3. All right. So the distance between the nut and the fret would come back. I might be a little off on this, but that's okay. I would take this design to a professional. And I would put my bridge down here. So I'm just going to rough in at first. I'm just going to kind of rough in the spot. Maybe my 12th fret would be better off here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm going to rough in the spot where the bridge goes. I'm going to rough in the spot where the pickups are going to go. What type of pickups you design are up to you. Being that they have shaped magnetic pieces, you could actually change the shape of the pickup at this point. So our bridge is here. I will kind of lay it out so it looks like it's a functioning bridge. And I can come back and do flourishes on it later. Then I am going to put in where the strings wrap around at the top. Okay. And off to the edges, I'll put in something that will be temporary holders for my tuning pegs. Boom, boom. All right. Now, I've got my 12th fret here. By the 12th fret, they start getting a lot thinner. It's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's about 20. Up here, they're wider. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-ish. And I'll divide that for my 12. All right. So it looks pretty legit at this point as far as where the parts are going to be laid out. Somewhere over here, you will have a series of controls. How many? Depends what you got going on in your bass or your guitar. Some people have all kinds of extra switches for making your pickups in parallel. Some people have not even a volume knob. They just put in a tone knob, like one knob to control the whole thing. Do they have many options in their sound at that point? Absolutely not. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide whether it's Deco or Nouveau. So I'm going to go with Nouveau because I like the flair of Nouveau. And I'm just kind of going to loosely sketch this out. So it feels like it's got a bunch of wavy lines or flowing lines. Now, I could also go back, sand in these divots. Boom, boom. And I start to get some recessed areas for my guitar. So instead of having it just a chunk that's cut out, you're going to want to try to put in some sanding, make it look nice. You know, make it look like it's an upper level instrument. As far as the look, here you can either make it symmetrical, and I can have this horn, top horn, pretty close to this side of the bass neck because my hand's not going to have to get there. My hand's going to be on this side. All right. So I'm getting a lot of curving going on here. Now, to make something functional, you probably want to make it so it doesn't stab you. And that's not always an option. Also, if you can put some kind of divot here, makes it easier to make it a lap guitar. And since I'm sketching, I can always come back and add or take away stuff, decide whether I think it looks good or if it needs something else. If I made this a point here, I'd make it a very rounded one because I wouldn't want to shred my hand on that. And then I could just decide what areas needed to be sanded. And this is me doing it real fast. I mean, you should probably take a little bit of time, give it some love, decide whether you like the design or not. Like this whole area right here now, I'm not particularly crazy about. I don't know if it serves a purpose. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I'm all right so far with this. This looks a little thin, so maybe I'll thicken that up. Maybe I'll make a double cutaway here at the bottom instead of the point. Now, I have a few guitars like this that have a double cutaway at the bottom. What's nice about them is you can lean them up against stuff and they don't roll over. And I know you'd be like, well, why does that happen? Oh my God, it happens all the time. That's why a lot of guitars, especially if you don't learn your lesson, a lot of guitars with nicks and dings and that kind of thing. All right. Now, if I want to draw a picture in here of a wizard or a lady like a Muka, and then, you know, cut it out so it looks like it's shaded and she's got the flowing hair and the face and the elegance, and maybe she's just kicking back. Dun, dun. She's holding a flower in her hand or a ladybug or butterflies. You know, this would be if I'm adding more detail. All right. So you could go that route with it. And the thing is, you should really play with it till you like it. You know, I mean, sweet Jesus, if it's cool enough, I might have it built. Doesn't mean I'm gonna give it to you. It's just I might go, wow, it's the coolest guitar I've ever seen. How many spare parts I got around here? Hey Scott, what would you charge me to make this guitar? You would think in COVID he would want more work. All right, so I've angled this up. I've got it flowing. I might even carve in. That's my placeholder. If I was going to do this for reels, I would draw it bigger and I'd make that specific, like a specific drawing that would be carved into the guitar. Um, Maybe I'd flow up these pickups so they look more like leaves. I could do like the magnetic bass pickups. Actually, they look like widened hearts now. All right. I could do the same thing with place markers. Place markers on most instruments fall at the 3, the 5, the 7, the 9, the 12, the 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 17, 19, 20, or 21, my bad. All right. And I could do place markers, make it look whatever I want like. I could do the same with the turners, tuning pegs. How about that? Oh, that's pretty. That's smooth. That's creepy. Look a little Hellraiser-ish. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. All right. So now that would be my pre-sketch. Maybe I'd make it out of different pieces of wood. So I'd have different exotic woods running through the middle, like an alembic bass or an echo. And then, importantly, when all is said and done, try to throw your strings on your bass or your guitar. Oops. All right, so that is basically how I would do an Art Nouveau guitar, super quick, like so. Deco, no curves, straight lines. Details are optional, but details should probably be in geometric format. Cool. Any questions? Anybody before I got to turn off the Elmo?
No.
Look, some point in your life, you'll be like, God, I got to design a shirt for a family get together. And you'll be like, oh, cool. Yeah, okay, I'll do Nouveau borders or Deco. Or maybe you're just going to do the, let's say you are doing the compare and contrast one. You're a 5'6". Maybe you want to have your two ladies that you are comparing and contrasting having comparing and contrasting instruments. So if one is summer, probably Nouveau. One is winter, probably Deco. Websites. Right, if you want to do a website, you could do it all in Deco or you could do it all in Nouveau. If you do it as a combination of both, that's just drawing in the long run. All right, so you guys got some time to work.